Hi, I'm Yvonne and I'm delighted to welcome you onto this online training programme, an introduction to managing children's behaviour. The aim of this course is to explore children's challenging behaviour and some strategies to manage it effectively. By the end of the course, you'll understand why children behave the way they do, identify strategies to manage children's challenging behaviour, identify how to link this knowledge to your role as an early years professional, and you will feel much more confident and competent in managing children's behaviour. I'm sure you'll find this programme easy to follow. However, if you have any questions, just drop us an email at ask@trainingdesigns.com. So to start with, what types of behaviour come to mind when you think of challenging behaviour? We're going to pause this video so you can take around 60 seconds to write down any ideas that come to mind. Welcome back. So how did you get on? You may have identified some types of behaviour, such as tantrums, biting, hitting, or fighting over a toy. Challenging behaviour can be viewed as behaviour which interrupts the learning and development of the child, may cause distress to the child and the adult looking after them, and may have an impact on future learning, for example, when the child attends school. Behaviour management is quite a big topic, and during this course you'll learn about some of the key areas to consider. One thing to always keep in mind is that you are addressing the behaviour as unwanted and not the child. Also, always remember the other children you are looking after, as it may be that you are so busy managing challenging behaviour that the children who are behaving well may not receive the praise they deserve and can often be overlooked in terms of their positive behaviour. For the child who constantly demonstrates unwanted or challenging behaviour, be conscious of when he demonstrates positive behaviour. Sometimes we are in danger of labelling children as having certain behaviours, and when they do demonstrate positive behaviour, this can easily be missed. Take this example. Imagine that you walk into a room where two 3-year-olds, Ellie and Maya, are playing. Ellie is crying and Maya, sometimes known to hit out when she doesn't get her own way, is sitting next to her. You may automatically decide that it's Maya's fault that Ellie's upset. However, the room leader tells you that Ellie fell over and Maya walked across to comfort her. The key thing here is not to label Maya, but to ensure that you praise Maya for her caring behaviour. Think about what you would say to Maya in this situation. Moving on, let's look at your practice as an early years professional. I'd like you to reflect on your practice and where you think your knowledge on managing children's behaviour comes from. Pause the video and take a minute to decide whether the following statements are true or false. So how did you get on with those statements? They are all in fact true. So let's just take a look at them one by one. Society and what's acceptable. For example, we know that we all have rules and laws within society. How to behave in public, and when driving, to stop at red traffic light. This can also be referred to as social norms. We link this to giving children boundaries for their behaviour, teach children about expectations for their behaviour in the setting and at home, and for when they start school and for life. We will cover this later when we look at the links between behaviour and the early years foundation stage. As an early years professional, your role is to help children to manage their own behaviour and emotions. So what about previous training you may have had on behaviour management? And also the information shared at staff meetings regarding what the EYFS says about behaviour management. All of the information is useful, and it's important to regularly keep your knowledge up to date. Think about your behaviour management policy, which should be regularly reviewed in line with the EYFS. Have you read the policy and do you understand it? The EYFS statutory framework also gives clear guidelines on how to manage children's behaviour. And you can find this on pages 2 and 27 of the statutory framework document. So please take time to read this. And what about the parents and different parenting styles and their views and knowledge about how they manage their child's behaviour? You may find that sometimes their views don't match those of your setting. So how do you work in partnership with parents to ensure consistency for the child? Do you discuss the behaviour management policy with parents, and are they able to easily ask questions and share any concerns that they may have with you? And how we were raised by our parents may impact on how we manage the behaviour of a child now. Do you think that your parents were strict, or do you think they were too lenient? Do you have children of your own? And if so, what are the behaviour management strategies that you use with them? So you can see that already you have some views and some knowledge regarding how we manage children's behaviour. This list isn't complete, so you can add to it in your own time. So leading on from this, when looking at effective behaviour management, I'd like you to think about two questions. Number one, what you're aiming to achieve for the child in your care. And number two, which area of learning and development in the EYFS refers to teaching a child how to manage their feelings and behaviour? Pause the video and take a minute or so to write down your answers. So how did you get on? Okay, for question 1, you might have written that your aim for each child is to teach respect, good manners, and how to behave positively in all situations, and to prepare them for school and for life. Your aim may also include teaching a child to socialise, express their feelings through learning and play in a safe environment. What else can you add to this? The answer to the second question is outlined in the area of personal, social and emotional development, which you can find in the EYFS documentation. Breaking this down even further, just to remind you that personal development is about children learning to understand who they are and what they can do. Social development is about how children learn to understand themselves, how they make friends and behave towards others. It's also about them understanding the rules of society in relation to other people. And emotional development is about children understanding their own feelings and the feelings of others. It's also about children developing an ability to see things from another person's point of view. If you look at page 5 of Development Matters, you will see that the subheadings, also known as aspects for personal, social and emotional development, are self-confidence and self-awareness, children developing a sense of who they are and becoming confident, managing their feelings and behaviour, children learning to manage their feelings and the feelings of others, and making relationships, how to form relationship with others and seeing things from others' points of view. The early learning goal for this aspect is found on page 14. Children talk about how they and others show feelings, talk about their own and others' behaviour and its consequences, and know that some behaviour is unacceptable. They work as part of a group or class and understand and follow the rules. They adjust their behaviour to different situations and take changes of routine in their stride. Think of an early learning goal as something you are working the child towards achieving by the end of the EYFS. So in fact, this early learning goal is your main guide when working with babies, toddlers and young children, as they can begin to learn about routine, acceptable behaviour and consequences. A consequence is something that happens as a result of a child's behaviour, and it can be negative or positive consequence. And children can learn this from a very early age. For example, think of a 36-month-old boy who sits at the table and eats well, and he receives praise and encouragement as a consequence. Now, think about another child of 36 months who sits at the table and throws his food on the floor despite being asked not to. The consequence of this could be to remove him from the table and speak to him about his behaviour in language that he understands. However, a word of warning about consequences. A consequence that you use with a child may seem to have a clear message to you, however, your child may see it differently. Imagine this scenario.
Imran's favourite activity involves him sitting in the book corner, flicking through his favourite books. If Imran bites another child whilst playing in the sandpit and is then moved away to the book corner as a consequence of his actions, it could actually encourage this unwanted behaviour. To Imran, it looks like the consequence of biting is getting to play in the book corner.
When you finish this unit, take some time to read pages 8 to 14 on personal, social and emotional development in the Development Matters document, and reflect on how this information links to managing children's behaviour. Children behave linked to their stage of development. Do you agree with this? The EYFS talks about each child being unique and that each child develops at their own pace. So remember the importance of tailoring activities and behaviour management strategies so that you have an approach which includes all children. Remember, your knowledge of child development is essential when managing children's behaviour. You'll need to provide age-appropriate strategies as well as understand how children behave according to their age. For example, when is speech and comprehension established in children? Are you giving instructions to a child of 12 months who doesn't understand what you're saying? And what about a child of 14 to 18 months who may be too young to express what they want in words and may use crying or tantrums as a form of communication? So well done, you've reached the end of Unit 1. This unit has given you some insight into your own behaviours and attitudes towards managing the behaviour of children.